A question I get asked a lot from clients thinking about moving to the Antelope Valley is, which city is better, Palmdale or Lancaster? In this video, I will explain the difference between the two cities. Hey, welcome to Real Estate Happens, the very first and longest running real estate show on the web. I'm John McQuilkin. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's get right on into it. First, let's talk about price per square foot. Well, it's always fluctuating, but as a general rule, price per square foot in Lancaster is less expensive than price per foot in Palmdale. Now, we do have a couple of very high-end neighborhoods in Lancaster, and every time one of those homes sell for about 1.5 million, it skews the prices just a little bit, making it appear that Lancaster is more expensive than it actually is. So price per square footage, a little bit less in Lancaster. Next, let's talk about the neighborhoods. Both Palmdale and Lancaster have outstanding neighborhoods. You may have heard contrary to this, you may have heard that Lancaster's no good. No, Lancaster has million-dollar neighborhoods, beautiful, pristine neighborhoods. Both areas, Palmdale and Lancaster, may have just the perfect neighborhood for you. Next, West Side versus East Side. This is a big controversy I hear all the time. Clients coming from Los Angeles say, I definitely will not live on the east side, it has to be the west side, because generally people say the west side is better. And in most cases, it is. The west side is cleaner, there's more restaurants, there's more parks. But in some cases, the east side might better suit your needs than the west side of Palmdale or Lancaster. Now let's talk about horse property, because it kind of ties right into the west side and east side. Both Palmdale and Lancaster have horse property, but on the east side of both Palmdale and Lancaster, horse property is less expensive. Another benefit of the east side of Palmdale and Lancaster, if you're into horses, is there's generally less complaints from your neighbors on the east side than on the west side. For instance, if you're into chickens and roosters and you have roosters crowing in the middle of the night, generally on the east side they're more tolerant of roosters crowing than on the west side when the roosters start crowing. So keep that in mind. So in this case, the east side might better fit your needs, even though the west side might be a better area in general. Next, commute time. I hear this a lot. People are looking on the map and they're like, well, it doesn't really look like there's that much difference between Palmdale and Lancaster, so I'll just go ahead and move to Lancaster. Well, this much is actually a big difference. Okay, here's the thing. If you have to commute to Los Angeles every single day, I would recommend staying in Palmdale. Now, if you work in the Antelope Valley, then it really makes no difference where you live. And in fact, Lancaster might be more centrally located for you to live in the center of the Antelope Valley as opposed to living in Palmdale. But if you have to commute every single day, it really does add an extra 10 to 20 minutes onto your commute if you live in Lancaster. And again, I know it doesn't look like much on the map, but by the time you drive that extra 10 to 12 minutes on the freeway to get to Lancaster and then take your exit and drive another 10 minutes, 12 minutes to your house, it adds up. It's already 20 minutes added on to your already long commute. So keep that in mind. If you work in Los Angeles, it might better suit your needs to live in Palmdale, even if you have to pay slightly more money. Okay, next, crime. Oh my gosh. From my friends in Los Angeles, I hear all the time, I would never move to the Antelope Valley. There is so much crime in the Antelope Valley. That is simply not the case. I have never felt safer being in the Antelope Valley. For 30 years, I lived in Hollywood where it was a little unsafe. Here in the Antelope Valley, I'll go to the supermarket on a hot day, leave my car windows completely down, and no one has ever broken into my car. I go running every day. I leave my door unlocked because I don't want to bring keys with me when I'm running. No one has ever broken into my house. So crime, it really just depends on where you live in the Antelope Valley. So east side versus west side, as far as crime goes, the west side is way safer as far as crime goes than the east side of both Palmdale and Lancaster. But in Lancaster, the crime centers more around the downtown area. the west side of Lancaster, relatively safe, and the extreme east side of Lancaster is relatively safe. The crime is more towards the City Hall area. Now in Palmdale, East Palmdale has more crime than West Palmdale, but the extreme east side of Palmdale has less crime. So it really just depends what area of the Antelope Valley you are in. But you can make that argument in Los Angeles, right? Los Angeles, there are parts of LA that are safe. You go 2 blocks and then that's an unsafe area. That's just the way Los Angeles is. There are actually safe areas of Hollywood and unsafe areas of Hollywood. So wherever you go, there's going to be crime. You just cannot escape it. Next, let's talk about cleanliness. Okay, Palmdale versus Lancaster. Which city is cleaner? Well, Lancaster's always touting itself on what a wonderful city it is, and there are some nice aspects of Lancaster, but Palmdale is way cleaner than Lancaster. Now, in general, the Antelope Valley is a little bit less clean than Los Angeles because there just aren't any public trash cans. Like throughout Hollywood, on every block you see a trash can, right? A public trash can. Not so in the Antelope Valley. I think one reason might be because it's so windy and the wind just comes and blows all the trash right out of the trash can anyways. But it's hard to find a public trash can in the Antelope Valley. Having said that, Lancaster is more dirty than Palmdale. I get so frustrated in Lancaster if I'm sitting in a parking lot, say at McDonald's or something, and I'm eating in my car. I just see people roll down their window and just throw all their trash right out the window, right into the parking lot in Lancaster, but I don't see that in Palmdale. So again, the west side of Palmdale, I don't see it. The west side of Lancaster, I don't see the littering, but towards the city center, in that whole area close to the freeway in Lancaster, it's just the most frustrating thing in the world, and I can't explain it. I'm dumbfounded by it, but people in very nice cars will put down their windows and throw all their trash right out the window. And then I get out of my car and I'm running across the parking lot trying to pick up all their trash before it blows away, because that just, again, I'm dumbfounded by it. I lived in Hollywood for 30 years, and I would see a homeless man walk to the corner to throw the trash in a trash can in Hollywood, and then in Lancaster, I see people in nice cars just throw their trash right out the window. So, if people being litter bugs bothers you like it bothers me, then perhaps Lancaster might not be the correct city for you to live in. But if you don't really care if you throw your trash out the window as well, then just move to Lancaster because it won't frustrate you like it frustrates me. Okay, there, I'm getting off my soapbox now about littering. Next, shopping. Both Lancaster and Palmdale have wonderful shopping. Palmdale has an indoor mall, which is nice, especially on those hot days. Lancaster has more strip malls. Both Palmdale and Lancaster have plenty of Walmarts, Home Depots, Lowe's, restaurants. Whatever you need, you'll find. And what I love about the Antelope Valley in general is, unlike Los Angeles, there's plenty of parking. You just pull right in, you pull into a parking space, and you go into the store and you do your shopping. Where in Los Angeles, you're driving around and around and around looking for parking. So I love living in the suburbs of the Antelope Valley where parking is plentiful. Next, the weather. People say the weather in the Antelope Valley, whether you're in Lancaster or Palmdale, is exactly the same, and that's not true. But it's pretty close to being true. Lancaster is slightly more windy than Palmdale, but both areas get windy, and Lancaster is slightly colder in the winter than Palmdale, but both areas get cold and both areas occasionally snow. Next, parks. This is a good one. The Antelope Valley has wonderful parks. Both Palmdale and Lancaster have big parks. I go running every single day, so I utilize the park systems. Now, sadly, the parks in Lancaster are less maintained than the parks in Palmdale. I'm going to give you two brief examples very quickly. There's a park in Lancaster. The restrooms have been closed for maintenance for more than 6 months now. And families go to the park to have a picnic, and then they have to use the restroom, and the restroom is closed, and they have to get in their car and drive somewhere to go to the restroom because for 6 months, the restroom at a park in Lancaster has been closed for just simple maintenance. It doesn't take 6 months to replace a toilet. In Palmdale, that wouldn't happen. They would fix the bathroom overnight. The other thing, like I said, I go running a lot, and there are parks in Lancaster where perhaps a rabbit or a dog has dug a deep hole in the park, and a year later that hole is still there. It's grown over, but the hole is still there. They just mow around the hole, and then I come along and sprang my ankle in the hole more than once because I forget the hole is there. In Palmdale, they would fill in those holes right away. Last thing, there's a park in Lancaster where they decided to replace all the rubber mulch in the kiddie playground, which is a very nice thing to do occasionally because that stuff gets unsanitary. So they put construction fencing around the kiddie playground. They brought in pallets and pallets of the rubber mulch. Then, for 8 months, they did absolutely nothing. Kids would come to the park, they'd come up, they'd put their hands against the construction fencing. Daddy, Daddy, what happened? Can't we go play? No. It is closed for maintenance for 8 months. Then 8 months later, they come, they take down the construction fence, and within 2 days, they replace all the mulch, and it is beautiful once again. Way to go, Lancaster. In Palmdale, it would have been fixed right away. Okay, next, schools. Gosh, I hear this a lot. People say, don't move your kids to the Antelope Valley because the school system is terrible. That is not true. We have wonderful schools in the Antelope Valley. And ask any student who attends school in the Antelope Valley, and they will tell you that they love their schools and they love their teachers. And many of these kids have gone to school in Los Angeles, and they tell me that the schools in Lancaster and Palmdale are way better than the schools they previously attended in Los Angeles. So the school system is good no matter what you may have heard about Palmdale and Lancaster. Well, I think I hit on a lot of topics today, but if you can think of one, leave it in the comments below and I will answer any additional questions you might have regarding Palmdale or Lancaster. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Lancaster, Palmdale, or anywhere in Los Angeles County, be sure to give me a call. I've been a successful real estate agent since 2003, and I've sold hundreds and hundreds of homes throughout my career, and I'd be very happy to assist you in whatever your real estate needs may be, even if it's just asking or answering a couple of questions you may have. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna have another video for you real soon, I promise you that. So until then, take care everybody. I'm John McQuilkin, and I'll see you in real estate.